The people of Ondo State in about 48 hours will file out to elect a new governor that will direct the affairs of the state for the next 4 years. About 17 political parties are fielding candidates on Saturday. Many observers believe the race is between the standard bearers of the APC and the PDP, that's Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa and Okpebholo Ajayi, respectively. The Independent National Electoral Commission has confirmed the arrival of materials and also has commenced its distribution. The Commission has assured Nigerians it would improve on the shortcomings of the Edo polls, ensuring it is a free and fair process. Well, joining me on the program to discuss, of course, matters rising around this is Kayode Babayomi, is the AAC Oyo State Chairman. He joins virtually from Ibadan in Oyo State. We also have Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst, who also joins virtually from Abuja. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Now, let me start with you, Kayode. We had your governorship candidate on this program, I think some few weeks back, where he highlighted some concerns, particularly as regards even INEC. I would like you to bring us up to speed. Is your party currently comfortable with the arrangement so far?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dapo. We should not deceive ourselves, and we should not lie to ourselves that we don't know what is happening and that we not be falling off. We in African National Congress know that there is active banking in play, right from INEC, and with the help of INEC, in collaboration with the ruling party in Ondo State, which is APC. But I want to tell you that I believe personally that the good people of Ondo State have learned their lesson, and the good people of Ondo State as well, they've seen that the party African National Congress, our party African National Congress, is only the alternative. We can see what is happening in Ondo State as I speak to you. Yesterday alone, there was a woman using a machete chasing APC supporters where they were campaigning, because she felt that they've ruined this country. She felt that nothing is working under the leadership of APC, both at the state level and at the national level. We believe that if the election coming up on Saturday will be free and fair, even though not only in Ondo State, I'm talking about Nigeria generally, that if elections are free and fair today in Nigeria as of today, I can tell you APC will not win a seat, a single seat, as I speak to you. Because it is crystal clear, evidently clear, that they are not for the people, they are only for themselves and for their cronies. They are just eager to get power, to play politics with the lives of the people, and also to make money.
I mean, you said that if an election is conducted today, maybe at national level, that the APC would not win a single seat, a single vote.
I can tell you that if elections are free and fair in Nigeria as of today, APC, your Progressive Congress, will never have a seat. Because right now as I speak, both the electorate, both the police, both the military and other state agents that they use, they are also passing through hell as we speak to you. Their strategy, which is vote buying, which they've been using, which they know how to do best. If there is nothing like vote buying, there's nothing like stealing of ballot boxes, there's nothing like disruption of polling units at all. And there's nothing like collaboration with INEC to forge and rig results. I can tell you, it is crystal clear.
Oh, okay, I would like you to speak more on the issue of the... It is practical. We know the situation of the country. We know what every Nigerians are passing through. And like the example that I just told you, that a woman, and a whole woman for that matter, saying enough of APC, it removed, I mean, she went in to bring a machine, start chasing them away, because she knows that they are not for the people. They are only trying to
get to power and do whatever they like.
I mean, you use the word hanky-panky.
And I believe that it is high time for them to turn, to the side of the African National Congress, which is the only alternative. And taking a look at our candidate, I was watching the live interview with our candidate 2 weeks ago. All our candidate policies are pro-people's policies. All our candidate policies are pro-people's ideas. A socialist ideas in nature. You understand? Not all these abracadabra, popping of the neoliberal policies by Tinubu that they also want to bring back to those states. Taking a look at his plans for the good people of Ondo State. Free education is there. We are talking about boosting the agricultural sector. Free medical health care, all and all. These are not rocket science. These are not plans that are not achievable. Good roads. Ondo State is one of the hard producing states in Nigeria. But what have the good people of Ondo State derived or benefited from it? Nothing. We are talking about the forest reserve in Ondo State. Ondo State happens to be one of the states, that has the largest plantation of cocoa. But what do we have today? It's so sad that the present leadership of the state, in Ondo State, they've ruined the economic sector. They've, ensure that nothing is working in the state. All what they care for is to make money, appoint voluminous numbers of essays, frolicking around, wasting government resources, traveling out of the countries.
Okay, your point definitely has been made. I would like to move away from...
Mr. Dapo, please.
Okay.
Taking a look at what we've been having and what we have been experiencing at the national level, the country at large, you can see that nothing is working. Removal of subsidy has killed so many businesses. In tariff of electricity has plunged so many people out of, has plunged so many businesses out of their business. And many other more. Insecurity is part of it. Increment in tuition fees and on and on. I can tell you, Nigeria is done. Nigeria has collapsed totally under the leadership and under the ruling of Progressive Congress. And that's why we have been coming out to say enough is enough. And the good people of Ondo State, I believe personally that they've learned their lessons, and I believe that it is high time to turn to our side and experience the true revolutionary changes that we have for them in Ondo State. Okay,
thank you for your points. Let me bring in Jide Ojo into the conversation. Now, Jide, I know that you are a keen observer of the build-up to Saturday's gubernatorial election in Ondo State. What would you say, are there reservations for you?
Good evening, everyone. I wouldn't say well, if I will be candid, the reservation I have been well enunciated in my column in the Punch newspaper of yesterday, where I x-ray the upcoming governorship election in Ondo State. And two key factors stand out. Number one is the resort to vote buying by the dominant political parties. The Punch newspaper online of 12th of November spoke about parties willing and ready to spend up to 20,000 naira for a vote in where they are unpopular. And that a party had already, weeks ahead of the elections, been distributing fertilizers, grains, gari to different wards as a form of voter inducement. And if we end up having the best election money can buy, then it's a source of concern. Ondo is notorious for what we call in Yoruba, Diboko Sebe. they are the one that brought that euphemism for vote buying. They are the one that added it to Nigeria political lexicon, Dibo, Kosebe. In Ekiti State, they call it stomach infrastructure. It's happening already from what Yaga Africa reported and from what newspapers have reported. So if the dominant party are willing to spend as much as 20,000 naira, these are not my words. You can do a Google check of the Punch newspaper of 12th of November 2024. It's there, Ghana Island, that parties have resorted to vote buying, and they are also reaching out to smaller parties to endorse the dominant ones. I was expecting news report to reflect that maybe some candidates have collapsed their campaign into APC or PDP, but I'm yet to pick that up. But it was speculated that the dominant parties are reaching out to the smaller ones to endorse them, as it happened in Edo State. But I'm here to confirm that. The other thing that also worries me about Ondo election is the resort to peddling of fake news and the use of fake news and hate speech. There is in the last few weeks, the PDP had been requesting for the removal of the resident electoral commissioner from Ondo State, Mrs. Toyin Babalola, under the guise that she came from Ondo State and she cannot supervise election in her home state. But facts available to me shows that Mrs. Babalola is not from Ondo, but from Ekiti State. And there is nothing constitutionally wrong for her to supervise that election. And more so, she has previously worked as Director of Legal Services in INEC headquarters and has discharged herself creditably well.
I mean, if I'm to get you correctly, you said that information available to you shows that she's not even from Ondo State, has been, peddled around, that she's from Ekiti State.
She's from Ekiti State, yes.
But they also said she grew up there. She, I mean, practically, born and bred there, lived her life there. I mean, should that really be an issue?
That's the question, that Paul. You possibly are from Osun State. Maybe you are from Gogon, somewhere in Osun State, and then you are born and have lived all your life in Lagos State. Should somebody say you cannot hold political office in Lagos State? The point is even that gone are the days when resident electoral commissioners have enormous powers beyond administrative powers that they now currently have. In the lead up to 2011, the constitution was altered, stripping one. Before, resident electoral commissioners are just appointed and they are sworn in. They didn't go through National Assembly screening. But from 2011, they have to go through screening of National Assembly. That's one. Two, it's also that, unlike before, between 1999, 2003, 2007, when resident electoral commissioners serve as returning officer, they are no longer the returning officer in any election. Returning officers are now picked from the tertiary institutions, usually vice chancellors, in rare occasions, professors. So why should the fact that Mrs. Babalola schooled in Ondo State, why should that influence her judgment? And also that she's not even the returning officer. There are thousands of INEC staff in Ondo State. Do you mean that all the INEC staff in Ondo should be posted out and people from other states brought in to conduct election? The same argument was made by the opposition party in Edo State that the Commissioner of Police and the resident electoral commissioner should be removed. But thankfully, INEC stood its ground, because I've never seen where it is the football team that determines who should be the referee of their match. It is an autonomous body that will appoint a referee. And that referee is meant to be neutral. And there are checks and balances along the way. Even though, as I said to INEC chairman when we had the quarterly meeting on Thursday, October 31, here in Abuja, that some of the INEC staff have not made job of some of us who understood and stand for the commission easy. Because someone like the resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa in last year's election, that descended into the fray and went to make declaration that he didn't have the power to do. Of course, he's answering charges in court now, but such individual, did not have the right to go and make a returns when a different person had been appointed by the commission. But that's just to highlight some of my concern. So issue around vote buying and voter inducement, issue about fake news, abuse of social media, using it to malign, to peddle fake news. And the governor was even alleged to have, abused somebody abroad and all of that. But that's also known to be fake news. And I know that ahead of this Saturday's election, that we should watch out for more. Particularly by tomorrow, you may start hearing that somebody has stepped down for another person, which may be lied. Well, these are part of the worry I have. But above and beyond that is also the fear of violence. Recall that Ondo State, as we have witnessed, arson and murder in Ondo State in 1983 during the 1983 governorship election between Ajasin and Okpebholo of MPN versus UPN, where fatalities were recorded and a lot of properties burnt. And we have also seen in this current dispensation in the Fourth Republic, issues around election rigging, the one that brought in Mimiko. That election in 2007 was rigged by the PDP, and it took the Court of Appeal in Benin to restore Mimiko's mandate on February 23, 2009.
Yes, Mr. Gideojo, thank you so much. But I understand right now that we need to go on a quick break. When we return, definitely we'll pick up and also talk, extensively a bit on the issue of security ahead of this weekend's polls in Ondo State. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This, of course, is Politics HQ on News Central Television. And our conversation at this point is as regards the forthcoming Ondo State Guber elections, which will be holding this weekend. I still have my guest with me. Kayode Babayomi is the chairman of the AAC Oyo State, and also Gideojo, public affairs analyst. Both men join virtually. Thank you for your time. Let me come back to you, Kayode. I mean, your party, for many political observers and many political, what I call it, individuals, they feel that your party, really is more visible during elections as against, off election cycles, and that most times it seems to be a party that is loud more on social media than in real life. What do you have to say to that?
A very big lie. Our party is more visible, on social media than real life or at the ground. This political party you are talking about, either PDP or APC, I can tell you that media are the one giving them the coverage they are having. The same people, the same Ondo State indigenous that are on grassroots, at the same time are the set of people on social media. Let not be deceived. As I'm speaking to you, the good people of Ondo State, even though at the core grassroots, they know that they are watching a news center, and they know what is happening. So let no one deceive ourselves, or let no one come with a very cheap blackmail or trying to paint the African National Congress that is only a party of social media. I can tell you, this political party, other political party we're talking about, probably PDP or APC, when they talk of structure, what are we talking about? So, as in, what is the actual meaning of the structure that we're talking about?
So are you saying, I'm sorry, I mean, this of course are allegations from some individuals. Are you saying that your party has a physical structure as we speak in Ondo State?
Yes, of course. We have physical structures in Ondo State, not even in Ondo State, across the 36 states in the country. We have chairman in the in all at least the local government. We have ward chairman. We have unit canvassers. As I speak to you, so let no one come and start saying our party is only visible on social media. What is the meaning of the visibility on social media that is quite different from what we have at the grassroots? Are they not the same people that they are campaigning to at the grassroots? Are also the same people that APC, African National Congress, are also engaging? We have engaged the people. Like I said so far, African National Congress, we are People's Party that is coming with a revolutionary idea. We are coming with revolutionary ideas to liberate the country, to liberate the good people of Ondo State. Let no one deceive you that on the day of the election, the grassroots people will decide, not social media people. So if we don't have faces or we don't have structures at the grassroots, how do we come to get party agents? How do we come to get canvassers? How do we come to get local government chairmen, the state executives?
Okay.
So let no one come and deceive us that our party is only allowed on social media, that we don't have the structure.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Ajayi Wiseman has been a candidate for the people, has always been speaking for the good people of Ondo State, and he will continue to speak. He's well recognized at the grassroots, not only on social media. All these candidates you are talking about, all these PDP, APC, where are they? When Ajayi Wiseman was one of those prominent indigenous of Ondo State that led the struggle of Bring Back Our Light. Imagine a certain section of the state for good 3 years has been in darkness. We can't continue like this. And that is why, people just have to continue to see beyond the 5 naira, the 10 naira they are giving to them.
Okay.
The issue of vote buying, the politicians, the PDP, APC, Labour Party are the ones engaging the voters to buy votes. So it is not that people will just stay and they will start collecting money. It is the politicians, it is the PDP and APC that come with money to buy votes, to tell them that.
All right, Kayode, I'm sorry I have to interrupt you, but we are pressed for time. I need to, of course, bring in Jide Ojo to his final thoughts on this. I mean, you highlighted a couple of issues that are of concern. You talked about the issue of vote buying, which is pretty much, rife, according to you, in the state, amongst the list of other issues. Now, let's talk about INEC briefly. INEC has said it will improve on the shortcomings, it experienced in the Edo governorship elections. Do you see this happening?
Well, those commitments were even made in my presence. Like I said, we had a CSO quarterly meeting with INEC chairman on 31st of October. And I reflected the commitments made by the INEC chairman in my column in the Punch yesterday. 3 things he promised, because civil society were very concerned about the logistic challenge that I was in Edo. I was in Benin City to observe the Edo election. I should ordinarily be in Akure, but for the cancellation of my flight. So that doesn't seem likely again. But what I'm trying to say is that when we had the quarterly meeting with Mr. Chairman, he made 3 commitments. One is that there will be improvement in the logistics. In terms of early commencement of vote, that the transport challenge that was experienced in Edo will not happen in Ondo. We take his word for it. 2, he made a commitment that beavers will work better and smoothly in terms of voter accreditation. 3, he talked about the result management process, that it will also be improved upon, because we raised the issue. I particularly raised the issue about the wrong results that were being posted on IREF portal. For instance, cancelled results and other results that has to do with overvoting, which should ordinarily not count. Something different should have been posted. I think so from EC40G should have been posted instead of you posting results that should clearly not be part of what you use to determine winner of an election. And he said he will look into all of the 3 and ensure that there is better procedures and better outcome in
Jide Ojo, are you there?
In Ondo State. I will take to those promises, and I will see better electoral performance in Ondo.
Okay. Jide Ojo, are you there?
On Saturday. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we seem to, have a bit of connectivity issues with you, but I'd like to.
But you heard what I said, the last part of what I said, that we are holding INEC chairman to his promises, the 3 key promises he made. 1, about logistics, that there will be better logistics for Ondo State, that election will start as scheduled in all, if not all, most of the polling, because we drew his attention to the Yaga Africa report that in Edo, 1 hour to the commencement of poll, when polls should ordinarily open, only 14% of polling stations open. And we drew his attention to the issue around election result upload. And he said they would look into all of those concerns and make sure that those glitches and flaws do not repeat themselves in Ondo. Right. And we are holding him to those promises. That's why I also reflected it in my column yesterday, to give it wider publicity.
All right, thank you so much for your time on the program, gentlemen. That's Kayode Babayomi, the AAC Oyo State chairman, of course, who is joining virtually from Oyo State, and of course, Mr. Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. I'm told that before I wrap up, I should just throw in one more question to you. That's Kayode. Kayode, if you can hear me, ahead of this weekend, we know that your candidate has gone round, has campaigned, has done his bit. What are you expecting? This is still Politics HQ on News Central Television. And of course, we are looking at the forthcoming Ondo State governorship elections. And News Central actually did put together a package ahead of the polls, looking at the chances and, of course, will I call it choices of the candidates ahead, particularly for residents in the state. This package was put together by Neo Money, looking at the chances and strength of the candidates. Take a listen.
The forthcoming governorship election in Ondo State is a pivotal moment in the state history. It marks the first time that major candidates in an election hail from the same senatorial district, Ondo South. 17 political parties have nominated candidates for the election. The list includes the incumbent governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa of the All Progressives Congress (APC), former Deputy Governor Okpebholo Ajayi of the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), and 15 others. Historically, Ondo State has been a battleground for the 2 major parties in Nigeria. The election is predicted to be a 2-horse race between Aiyedatiwa of the APC and Ajayi of the PDP, both former deputies to the late Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. The 2 frontline candidates have crisscrossed the 18 local government areas of the state, presenting their manifestos to voters.
As it is in Ondo State now, my brother is running an illegal system.
Let me first of all talk about his. Somebody who has about 3 different dates of birth on a secondary school certificate.
Since 1999, no political party has ruled the state for more than 8 years. The APC seeks to affirm its strength by winning another 4 years after 8 years in power.
I mentioned it here.
Both had strained relationships with their late boss and survived several impeachment attempts. As the incumbent who controls all local, state and federal elective positions, Aiyedatiwa has a formidable structure that can swing the contest in his favor. A major concern raised by the main opposition party is the potential misuse of incumbency, with issues such as restrictions of access to venues and intimidation of the opposition by state security forces, among others. Both candidates face unique challenges heading into Saturday's election. For instance, the emergence of Olugbenga Edema, the NNPP candidate who hails from Ilaje local government area, same as the governor, and defected from the ruling party after alleging irregularities in its primaries, has generated substantial support, particularly from disaffected members and allies of the late Governor Okpebholo, which could cause disruptions. The PDP has been grappling with a wave of defections following its primaries where Ajayi emerged as the candidate. The outcome sparked discontent among many party members, leading to high-profile defections to the APC.
I joined because it is time to push for progress in Ondo Kingdom.
And because the leadership is open, that is why every other party is collapsing into APC.
With the election around the corner, pundits are studying the body language of Okpebholo political dynasty and wondering where they will pitch their tent. Though the Okpebholos are members of the ruling APC, they have been at loggerheads with Governor Aiyedatiwa before and after he succeeded the late governor. Pundits are also watching the camp of the former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, 7 in the current APC administration, to see who the group will support. Currently, campaigns are in full gear as various parties canvass for support.
The governorship election for November 16, 2024. The votes will be given to my party, APC.
Our people are resolute, they are ready, the combat ready to vote out APC.
Labour Party is the most popular political party in Ondo State.
The Independent National Electoral Commission reports that no political party nominated a female candidate, while one candidate nominated by the African Democratic Congress is paraplegic. Several factors will determine the winner of the forthcoming election. The PDP's hope on winning the election hinges on the dissatisfaction of the general populace based on the reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the ruling APC. It is believed that Aiyedatiwa's performance or achievements in the last 10 months will determine if he will get the people's vote on Saturday. The outcome, however, is far from certain, as voters may surprise pundits with their choices. In Lagos for News Central, I am Igbalani Omoni.
Well, that was a package put together by Niomani of News Central and, of course, explained the strengths and chances of the candidates ahead of Saturday's polls in Ondo State governorship election. Well, I still have with me Kayode Babayomi. He's the AAC Oyo State chairman, and of course, he is joining virtually. I know that you saw that particular package, and your candidate talking about Ajayi, was in the last frame there. My question to you is this: what do you consider the top 3 concerns or needs of residents of Ondo State?
I can tell you categorically that the need for the good people of Oyo State at this very critical situation is to vote out APC and vote African National Congress, AAC. Like I said, our candidate, Ajayi Wiseman, is a candidate with people's ideas and policies. People should stop following PDP, APC. That's one of the major reasons why we are still at this junction we find ourselves in this country. And I can tell you, we in African National Congress hope that the voice of the people, shall prevail in this very coming election if it is absolutely free and fair. Like I said, we are not disturbed and we are not scared that if elections are free and fair in the Nigeria we find ourselves today, I can tell you, APC will not win a seat. Yes, that's the practical interpretation.
Kayode, I would like you to speak. I would like you to speak specifically. I would like you to speak specifically on the role of INEC, you know, in the conduct of elections over time.
Well, I can tell you, like the INEC chairman said, that they've learned their lesson concerning the Edo election. But we don't still trust them. We know how they've been doing, you know, so we are not surprised. We just hope that things go the right way this time around. Because I can't tell you that we so much believe in INEC. You know, same INEC that has, you know, orchestrated a lot of results that have permutated, you know, rigged a lot of results, write out different figures. You know, the electoral PDP, when PDP came out to say they don't want a certain residential electoral commissioner, they have as in, I'm not backing them, though they're also part of the system, they're also part of the problem. But they you know, they've seen a certain handwriting, you know, handwriting that is actually not clear. Mr. Dejo Ojo, that happens to be our co-analyst on this program tonight, said the resident electoral she's from Ekiti State. They're not from, it doesn't matter, maybe she's from Ekiti or from Ondo. We have seen situations whereby the rep of a certain state is from Abuja and is coming to Ekiti to read the election. The rep from River State, where was he from? The rep from Kano. So we have, so it is not by the state or the state of our origin or whatever. But we believe that the faith we have in INEC has really, you know, affected the faith of Nigerians concerning democracy. Okay. And finally, when the result comes out, they will tell you should go to court, of which there are the same set of people that have positioned themselves in all these areas. You know, so we believe, and I hope that African National Congress will have a very good result in this very election. And I can tell you, the time is now for the good people of Ondo State, because APC, PDP, they can never come out and say for the past 8 or 12 years they've been ruling, they have any significant achievement so far that has bettered, that has improved the life of the good people of Ondo State. So it is high time the good people of Ondo State vote them out and vote in African National Congress.
Okay, you know what? One issue,
and I can tell you, the issue of INEC is not something we are just familiar with. Like I said, we've seen that there are a lot of hanky-panky in play. You know, you saw what happened.
I mean, talking about hanky-panky, one thing Jide Ojo did highlight, and which of course has been a source of concern.
Things are not making sense.
Kayode, may I speak?
Those are things that undermine our democracy in Nigeria.
Kayode, may I speak? Thank you. Now, one thing, talking about hanky-panky, one thing Jide Ojo did highlight, and of course, which has been, you know, an issue of concern and even conversation, is the issue of vote buying, where, of course, there is even a palace phrase in the state that Digboko Sebe, meaning, I mean, vote and then you are able to cook. I mean, I want to ask, is the AAC also complicit of this?
Well, let me tell you, you know this, that we are not political party that we tell you that before you can vote for us, let us give you rights. You don't buy votes. We believe, see, there is something we call self-convictions. Our message to the people clear. Our promises, our plans, our policies, and their implementations are practical and clear to the people. So we don't have reasons to start buying votes without, you know, to start, you know, inducing people, you know, just to get their votes, and after getting their votes, they leave them. Ekiti State, I can tell you, Ekiti State, if you don't have, like I said, the politicians are in charge of this. In Ekiti State, if you don't paste posters, once you have money, you can win election in Ekiti State.
Really?
As we speak today.
You said once you have... I'm sorry. I would need to get clarity on that. Are you saying that in Ekiti State, even if you don't campaign, once you have money, you can win elections? Are you suggesting or insinuating that the vote buying is notoriously rife in that state?
I can tell you clearly. In fact, it is only when you take it to bank that you can withdraw. But I can tell you clearly that Ekiti State of today, if you don't campaign, once you have money,
do you have evidence to back this up?
Kayode was the one that initiated that slogan. That template where people believe that before you can support the party, before we can get this from you, we have to give you food. We have to. Kayode initiated it, the stomach infrastructure, and that is why before in any election in Ekiti State, why are the likes of Okpebholo, the Senate Majority Leader, are still there today? It is because they believe that during elections they will come around, they share money, and they win. And take a look at the larger number of people voting in Ekiti State. Most of them are from Benue, they are from Delta, they are, so they believe that probably in my own, I'm from Ekiti State. Yeah, I'm from Ekiti State, Area Ekiti for that matter. The people voting in my own community, Area Ekiti, they are more or less the Igedes, the Edoma people. And once PDP, APC, they bring money, once all these politicians bring money, they vote for them. In the last election, I was in Ekiti to vote on my election. They were telling me clearly that if I should come 2 months earlier, in fact, if I should come with thousands of naira a day before election, that in my unit, another unit, that my election we match. So what are we saying? The reason why the likes of Okpebholo are still in Senate House is because of the money they have, to give to voters, to buy their conscience, and to devote Okpebholo, and also the stomach infrastructure. And what are they even giving them? Slippers, Maggi, and 1,000 to 2,000 naira. So same thing also applicable to Ondo State. The issue of the Boko Sebe. As I speak to you, in every
Kayode Babayomi, it appears we have lost connection with you, if you can hear me, but thank you so much for your time on the program. Of course, we've been discussing the forthcoming Ondo State Guber polls and matters rising around it. You just had the voice of Kayode Babayomi there, the chairman of the AAC or your state. And earlier we had Jide Ojo, the public affairs analyst on the program. Well, in case you missed out on the show today, you can catch up on our YouTube platform. That's News Central TV. You can also follow us across social media with the same name, News Central Television. You can follow me personally at Dakpo Adigboye. Until I come your way tomorrow, as we always say on the program, the opinion of our guests remains theirs and not that of News Central. See you tomorrow. Good night.